welcome to another episode of the Freelancers Mindset Shortcast. Thanks so much for being here and thanks for supporting so much along the way. Today's podcast is very special because I'm speaking to someone I met on a new venture. More on that later. But let me introduce the guest for today. Subhashini is from Karnataka. She finished her MBA and has the shortest duration of experience in the corporate world, which is 2.5 years. She is trained in Hindustani music and is a huge Taylor Swift fan. She's a passionate Toastmaster, avid reader, foodie, and has a high level of metabolism. Thanks so much for being here, Subhashini.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi, for having me here and for this wonderful opportunity. And looking forward for the great meeting.
For sure. So let's start with what you have mentioned in your introduction that you have the shortest time in corporate of 2.5 years. Why is it that you left
Yes.
corporate and started a venture of your own? Tell us more about that journey.
Okay. To be honest, I didn't want to quit my corporate job because I was so stuck in that comfort zone, getting money and financial stability and job security. Everything was there, but there was no personal growth. I might grow in corporate field as a senior and next assistant manager or manager, but down the line in my personal life, there will be no growth. Either I'll be getting older and skipping on most of the personal things like family functions or many things which I cannot go back and revisit. And these were few things. And also I thought, okay, if I'm working for next like 10 to 15 years, I might have some lump sum amount. But what will I have? Not better memories, because as we all know nowadays the corporate work how it has been like, we are working without working limited working hours, and after that we are getting time only during weekends, and that too we have to do. I mean, as we are adults, we have some other responsibilities. And where is the time for our personal life? The work balance was so imbalanced. That is one reason I wanted to quit. And also from my family, my parents were like, this is not going good for you. In future, it is going to be difficult. And from the perspective of female, we are getting married, and
Yeah.
after getting married, that responsibility like having own family, raising own family, that is going to be sick if you're working in this corporate world. And you are not going to be healthy for sure. And after getting everything, I mean, after you know growing older and having own family, that responsibility along this corporate world, it is going to be very difficult. So what my mom suggested was like, you start something on your own, finish your qualifications, professional course. So she forced me to do CA. Initially,
Okay.
I fought with her not to quit my job for like 6 months. I fought with her. And also, when I told my senior, one of my senior, that I'm gonna do my business, she literally called me stupid for doing my business, and this made me so insecure to introduce my business to the people whoever I know. And whenever I wanted to share that, my Instagram page, my business page, on my personal page, I felt so insecure. And once what happened, once I gave a product to promote to one of my friend, and she asked me to take photo with her so I can promote it with your photo. And I said no, because I was so hesitant and I felt what is inferior to quit my
Okay.
well-paying job to do some small business. And I suffered from that inferiority for some time. And yeah, I got orders and I learned a lot. And gradually, I started my business. The business is resin art,
Yeah,
which I
I was
started
just
to
about to
do.
ask you. So if you could show
Yes,
some
the
samples
resin.
of what you're doing as well and what you're into, then it would be really nice.
Okay, sure. Resin art is an epoxy resin which we use. It is a liquid, which will be in liquid form, and when we mix the resin and the hardener, it will become solid form. After 24 hours, it will start becoming solid after some time. but after 24 hours it will be perfect solid. And I have one two samples. Okay, these are for Diwali coasters, and these colors I really liked, so I kept it for
Right.
myself. And here we can, decorate our places, and these are for decorative purposes, and also like, just it's not necessary product like to preserve also. And these are the this is one coaster. Okay,
Okay.
here it is flower, and these are rose petals, and here I have just added some stones to add extra color. And these flowers are kind of red. I think it is visible.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it visible, red color?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these flowers I got like 2 years or 1.5 year back, and still they are with me because of this resin. Here
Oh.
we can preserve flowers and all these things. So it's kind of, preserving memories with the flowers, and also doing something with colors and all. This is all resin art.
Oh, it's like you're creating a nice novelty item for people's sentiments. Like they have something like a flower or something their friends gave them that might not last more than a few months, but they want to cherish it and preserve it in the long run. This is a great way to
Yes.
like have a piece of the past for forever.
Yes, that is what I mean. Because see, everyone, when someone proposes you, right, and that's rose with the rose, what they give is like we feel so special whenever we look that.
Right.
And few people, what they do is they preserve it in the middle of the book. I mean, in between the pages.
Yeah.
So what happens is because of the insects, the flower will be gone. The flower will be ruined, or else few people keep it in bouquet only and it will decay. I have seen those situations when I was doing my resin art, when I had to do my resin art. When they asked me to preserve those, it completely turned black. So those were the instances. Instead of ruining the flower in that way, we can preserve it like this, so it will be there for.
Oh, definitely. And like looking at the products you have made, I have another question coming in my mind where I am currently in the service sector where I'm into digital marketing, content writing, all of that. And usually when people look at entrepreneurship, they prefer to go in the service side because you don't have much of an initial investment. You don't need to bring in any resources. You don't need to source any products or anything. And you're not selling something physical to the customer. I can just mail my blogs to them or share it via WhatsApp or something. But for you, you have to take care of the shipping costs. You have to take care of taking it in, like packaging it so that it doesn't break and it goes to the audience in a single piece. There is so much that goes into it because it's a tangible item in your hand. So, what is the product side like of freelancing? Like, once you get into this product space, what are some unique challenges that you have there? How different is it from the service side? Because many people start with service and then go into product, but you directly went into this. So, what has the unique hardships been like there?
Okay, starting from investment perspective, I started to invest in resin product while I was still earning. So
Okay.
investment, the capital was already there. So investment was not an issue. Now I can work. I mean, from the profit and everything, I can invest again and work on it. And yes, as a product type to the customers, they have different demands, depends on their preference and taste. Each customer will have their own preference. I mean, as I told, it differs a lot, and there is a lot of experimentation while preparing one product. And what happens when customer reach out to us is they might check the product in their website or Pinterest or Instagram or wherever. They search for it and they send us, can you please duplicate like this. What happens is, one is not availability of such raw materials. For example, we use molds for getting shape of the resin product. So sometimes in India we might not get such molds yet. I mean, we have to export, or it is not so well spread in South India as of I know. But in North India, it is kind of, it's widely spread. The resin art is going really good in North India. So one is not improper, the shortage of raw materials,
Okay.
and not shortage, like not availability of raw materials.
Okay.
And
It's
next
not
will
easily
be
accessible.
yes, it's not easily accessible. Thank you for that word.
Right.
And next will be yes, as I have mentioned, duplication. As this is completely handmade, resin art is completely handmade. Each design differs because we are not machines to exactly duplicate the same product. And this is a liquid form. If I want to show here, see here, this has this much of white, I mean a transparent color, and here it has less compared to this because
Hmm.
it flows, the color flows. So it is a bit difficult to make exactly like that. So this is one thing. And also when it comes to packaging, nowadays people are giving more importance on packaging as well. Like there's a personal return notes, and when I open, I mean when I bought few things from small businesses, there were rose petals in that. So I also do adding rose petals into that, and so kind of always creating something new for the packaging, because when the customer receives it, they should feel, wow, I got something like very special, because everywhere they are getting normal, ordinary. They should feel special whenever they receive something. So that is like trial and error every time for the packaging. I keep upgrading my packaging all the time. So, and the next thing is the transportation, how to ship it. We have the best method is Indian Postal Service. Uh, we can, if we send it through registered post, then it is sorted. We can track it and we can use it easily.
I remember even when it came to my service side, somebody advised me like start off with just giving your services to people. And then after a point, you start making assets because, the full business should not depend on you. Like only if I write 5 blogs, I get paid for 5 blogs. When I'm not working, I don't get paid. So it shouldn't be entirely dependent on you. So start making courses, start a YouTube channel, start a book. So you just make the asset once and then you start earning from it even when you're not working. But I think in your product side, it can't be like that because every unit is made by you, right? So
Yes.
how would you like, what's your take on this? Like, would you say this is a disadvantage for you, or how do you view this?
Okay, this is yeah, compared to service line, I don't say it is a disadvantage, because creating a product, and when it is a handmade thing, we need to be creative all the time because each product will be different. And when
Right.
I prepare jewelry, right, I mean resin art jewelry, each design differs. So for that, I don't, I mean, I prefer to, I sell my products to vendors, so they sell it. All I have to do is prepare the product. To prepare the product, I'll have one entire week. And when I don't feel like doing it, I'll not do. But when I feel like doing it, I sit and do entire day and night, and it will be done. Because creativity should flow, and so whenever creativity flows, the product will be ready. Or as I don't say it has a disadvantage, but it is also not disadvantage, but yeah, because as we are creating something handmade and new creative thing, it needs a lot of creativity, which needs to be different every time, because there's lot many things which are already available on Instagram or on internet. If we keep on duplicating it, people will get bored, and to improvise on that, we need to keep on searching and all that, trying new things every time.
And you mentioned before that you took a step back as a freelancer at one point. Like there was a part in your life where you had to look at the big picture and just take a step back for a while. So, how important do you think that is for a freelancer? Rather than hustling hard and constantly moving forward, you need to slow down, you need to take a step back, and you need to reevaluate things. How important is that?
Okay, that is actually a very interesting question, and
Right?
that is one of the biggest lesson which I learned. Because after, as I mentioned earlier, after graduating college, got into good college. After good college, I got into one of the big fours. So I was like, okay, my life is sorted. And after 2.5 years, after my parents witnessed what I was going through in that working world, they were like, no, you have to quit. I never took a step back. I mean, from going, I never failed. Never got into some other kind of college, like bad college, or always got into something good. But when they asked me to take a step back, I was working in such a nice company, and it was so difficult for me to decide. I fought for months with my parents that I wouldn't quit. And later, once what happened, my friends just gifted me on my birthday the resin products, and I did something. And next day, they gave me order. Okay, so my friends only gave me order. So because of that, I got some kind of confidence. And at the same time, my work got kind of sickened, and my manager, it was also kind of getting very difficult for me. So, and also it started to affect my personal life. That is when I was like, okay, it's okay, we'll see how it goes. I'll just try this, and we'll see. And also by that time, I applied a lot of jobs in Naukri. In case after quitting 2 or 3 months, if something goes wrong, I'm going to job.
Backup
So this
plan.
is how I was. Yeah, that's a plan. While I was working, I didn't have the financial discipline. So this also one of the important lesson which I learned after quitting, because in corporate world we get regular salary, but here as a small business owner I don't get a regular salary, so I had to manage with the same salary everything. I mean, same whatever the profit I get, and I have to invest and also
Okay.
to create something new and trial and error again. For that, I wanted some extra money. So for that, allocating all that funds and the planning, and also having time and building myself again after working in corporate world, like because in corporate world we don't build ourselves, we work ourselves for the company. Like for the company, we get appreciation or prizes and all this. For that we work so much for someone else and for something else. But here I started to work on myself, and that journey, I mean, I started as you have mentioned already, that you met me in Toastmasters, and I'm the person who fears to speak. There are so many things which I learned, like managing my on my own and taking responsibility for my own life, and maintaining the financial discipline and giving time for others, and also build the boundary. Because when people reach out to me for something, I always kind of, oh, I felt that I overdid for others. But after quitting job, I realized that okay, I'm doing this much and they are doing this much.
Yeah.
Should I really have to put so much of efforts while I'm not getting something out of it? It's
Very
like
true.
watering the dead plants. Taking a step back is okay, and we should normalize it, because we are just going in the race. Like get a
Yeah.
job and earn and come back
Yeah.
home and life
Yeah.
settled sorted. No, that's not the only thing. We can take a step back, and we can again channelize our energy into what we really love, which might not be so happy or comfort and not happy, which might not be comfortable as the corporate job,
Hmm.
but it will be the happiest choice which we do, I feel.
I
Yes.
totally agree because for me, taking a step back happened while I was in my corporate job, where at one point I realized this is not working out for me. But at the same time, I thought, okay, if I leave, I have so many responsibilities in this company. I have so many friends over here. There are so many clients that are personally calling me by my first name, and we have a bond together. So if I leave this company and go off and start a business of my own, will this company be able to survive without me? Like, I have so many responsibilities. Like, can I leave all of this and give it on to the next person? Can they survive without me? I was constantly in that state. And then I took a step back and I thought, this is corporate. They are not dependent on you're just another wheel in the cog. So if you leave,
Yes.
they might miss you for one day, but they'll always find a replacement. Like, your self-importance is so high, but in reality, the company values you, but they are not dependent on you. So I had to take a step back to get that realization. What is one life lesson you'll give to anybody who wants to quit their full-time job and get into entrepreneurship? And what mindset shift should they have? Any one life lesson or mindset that they need to have?
Okay. So, it's not a one, it's just my thought. Because, see, if we are quitting, as I mentioned earlier, if you have very less responsibility, if you're ready to take that risk, please take and don't wait for good time or opportunity. Because when one main door closes, the many opportunity windows of opportunities opens. So we don't know what is there outside that windows. We are just going through that window door and coming back. So what I would suggest is, this is not my first business, because doing business is there in my blood, or maybe I don't know, it is
Oh,
there in me. Because I mean, when I was very small, when I was in fifth standard, my grandmother got lemons from farm. Okay, and there were
oh,
so many left lemons. I mean, unused lemons. So me and my grandmother took to some shop and we sold it instead of giving it
okay.
to someone else.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is my fifth business. And second business was, once I was wearing one smiley emoticon stud, and my friend asked me, "Where did you get it?" My next question was like, she said it's nice, and my next question was like, instead of saying thank you, do you want it? And next day I went and bought that and sold it for 15 rupees, which I got for 10 rupees. So I did
Oh,
this for
right.
like 20 years.
Right.
20 of them I sold. And so this is my that was my second business. And this is what I have started is third business, the resin art, which is going from 1 year, which I'm doing from one long year. So we don't know which business it's going to be a hit or which it's going to be a failure, but we have to always try.
Yeah.
Because after looking at me, my friends started to do their own business, which is kind of which makes me feel happy, because keeping the business going on with all the other commitments, it's kind of sometimes it becomes difficult. But when I saw my friends doing it right, I felt really happy. And now if I stop my business, they might get disappointed at some time and they might discontinue. Okay, this is thread art, can you see this?
Yeah, that's so nice. It's like a yin yang shape with hearts and everything. It
Yes.
looks really nice.
Yeah. And she has gifted me when she came to my home, and I was like, it's very cute. And I didn't have anything. It's like a coaster, so I didn't have anything on my table to keep it use it, but I just kept a cup on that, just to look at that every time I come and work on my table.
Yeah.
This is mandala art. Okay,
Wow.
this was done by my cousin, because she saw me starting my small business, and she helped me with my business. And later I was like, you have good art for painting and all that, why don't you try? So she did this, and this is kind of looks really professional. So one of my friends, she is still working in corporate world, and she gifted me this. Okay, when I started resin art, I forced her to start something on her own. So she's finally started her candle business, and this is one of the candles she
It's a
has
scented
prepared,
candle?
and it looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a scented candle. It's just a candle. She's still trying scented candles. I mean, adding a scent to the candles. But this is one of the candle which she presented me on my birthday, and it looks so good. And in real, it looks like a cake. And
I
I
know.
confused my dad by saying that my friend gifted me a cake, so you can have a slice. he didn't see the thread in between, but it looks like a cake, actual cake. This is how it is. And take that step. And sometimes there might be failures, but we're going to definitely learn a lot of lessons out of it. And every business will give a new experience, whether it's the negotiation or the building the boundaries between the customers. For example, few customers might make you work a lot with less pay, so this will helps a lot. Every business will give you lot of lessons. For example, when I was small kid, it helped me to build the negotiation, not negotiation, the bargaining skills, because I saw that my grandmother doing with me, so I learned from there.
Very much jealous of all of you. And on that note, thank you so much, Subhashini, for being a part of this podcast. And thank you to everybody who is listening so far. If you found Subhashini's work interesting and you would like to purchase some for your own, I'll definitely leave the links to her business down below. You can check them out over there. And stay tuned for the next podcast. Thanks again, Subhashini, for being a part of this.
Thank you so much for having me here, Meenakshi, and also giving me this wonderful opportunity. And it was a great session, sorry, great meeting.